If your idea of a Doberman is a serious, scary dog, stay tuned because this video is going to bust a lot of myths. We're going to look at where the breed really comes from, what sets a European Doberman apart from an American one, what all the different colors actually mean, and, most importantly, whether they fit your home, your schedule, and your family. If you're thinking about getting one or you just find them fascinating, watch this video all the way to the end. But first, let's start with 11 facts about Dobermans that will completely change the way you see them. Number 1. They originated in Germany in the 19th century. The Doberman feels like one of those breeds that have been around forever, but it's actually pretty young. It emerged in Germany around 1880 when a man named Carl Friedrich Doberman set out to create the perfect guardian dog. At a time when traveling with cash was risky, Doberman worked as a tax collector, so he wanted a strong, brave, highly intelligent companion to protect him on his rounds. The result was a dog with an impressive blend of elegance and power. That imposing look and unshakable loyalty drew attention fast. Within a few decades, the Doberman went from working dog to a symbol of nobility and protection. Today, more than 140 years later, it's still admired worldwide for its presence and character. Number 2. The original mix is still a mystery. Although Carl Friedrich Doberman created the breed, he never wrote down exactly which breeds he used to shape his ideal dog. What we do know for sure is that he had access to a dog shelter. There, he carefully chose dogs with the traits he wanted: strength, agility, a protective instinct, and intelligence. Experts believe Rottweiler, German Pinscher, Weimaraner, and Greyhound were part of the mix. Some even mention the Manchester Terrier and the Thuringian Shepherd, but without official records, the exact recipe was lost to time. Maybe that's part of the Doberman's charm, a breed born from observation, instinct, and its creator's passion. That's how a near-perfect dog was born, designed to protect and, at the same time, inspire respect. Number 3. Their ears and tail don't look like that naturally. If there's one image people link to the Doberman, it's upright ears and a short tail. Heads up, they aren't born that way. Puppies are born with floppy ears and a long tail. That signature sharp look comes from cosmetic procedures performed by people. We're talking about 2 surgical procedures: ear cropping and tail docking. They require anesthesia, aftercare, and, in the case of the ears, weeks or even months of taping so they stay upright. For many years, people said it was for practical reasons, to prevent injuries while they worked as guard dogs. Over time, the custom stuck mostly for aesthetics and tradition rather than real necessity. Today, that reasoning is widely questioned. In much of the world, these practices are banned or heavily restricted because they're considered unnecessary and harmful to animal welfare. The American Veterinary Medical Association is opposed to these procedures when done for cosmetic reasons, reflecting veterinary concern about pain, risk, and the impact on the animal's well-being. That said, they're still done in some countries, and people prefer that iconic silhouette with pointed ears. It's worth remembering that this is a constructed image, not their natural appearance. Either way, if you're drawn to their look, they have the same presence with natural ears and a full tail. The temperament, intelligence, and loyalty are exactly the same. Number 4. The name doesn't include Pinscher anymore, except in the US. Did you know that in most of the world, the official breed name no longer includes the word Pinscher? In Germany, where the breed originated, the term was dropped decades ago. The reason is simple. Pinscher means terrier in German, and over time it was decided that Doberman wasn't closely related enough to terriers to keep the term. However, the United States chose to keep it. The American Kennel Club still registers the breed as Doberman Pinscher, which is a nod to its origins. Interestingly, this difference has led many people to think there are 2 separate breeds. In reality, it's the same dog with slightly different bloodlines. So, depending on where you live, your Doberman might be Doberman or Pinscher, and just as elegant and loyal either way. Number 5. Among the world's first police dogs. When early police forces went looking for a dog that could protect, track, and follow commands with precision, the Doberman was a natural choice. Their intelligence, strength, and focus made them pioneers in police and military work. By the early 20th century, they were already part of security units in Germany and other European countries, and soon after, in the United States. They served on patrol, guarded sites, and tracked suspects, always alert to the slightest movement. Over time, their reputation solidified. The Doberman became synonymous with authority and discipline. Even today, although other breeds are more common in law enforcement, the Doberman remains one of the most recognizable symbols of the classic police dog. Imposing, noble, and absolutely loyal to their handler. Number 6. They were heroes in World War II. During World War II, the Doberman went from guard dog to true war hero. They served as messengers, scouts, and camp guardians, especially with the United States Marine Corps. One of them, named Kurt, was the first dog to fall in combat during the Battle of Guam in 1944. From then on, Kurt's story became a symbol of canine bravery. At the naval base on Guam, there's still a cemetery dedicated to these dogs with a statue honoring their sacrifice. Soldiers called them devil dogs, not for ferocity, but for determination and unshakable loyalty. Thanks to them, many human lives were saved. Few people realize that beyond being guardians, they were silent companions who shared fear, fatigue, and victory. Number 7. Among the smartest breeds. If you like the idea of living with a dog that understands what you say and sometimes seems to read you even too well, the Doberman is for you. According to canine psychologist Stanley Coren, the author of The Intelligence of Dogs, this breed ranks 5th among the smartest in the world. That means they can learn a new cue in fewer than 5 repetitions and follow it with near-perfect accuracy. But their intelligence goes beyond obedience. They also have huge emotional sensitivity. They pick up their person's mood with surprising accuracy, and if they sense you're sad, they'll stay by your side until you feel better. That's why living with a Doberman calls not only for leadership, but for empathy too. This is a dog that reasons, feels, and most of all, connects with you for real. Number 8. They hold a world record in tracking. Although we usually associate tracking with hounds, a Doberman named Sauer showed this breed's nose is on another level. In 1925 in South Africa, Sauer and their handler, Sergeant Herbert Kruger, followed a cattle thief's trail for more than 100 miles on foot. That feat is still considered a world record in tracking. The incredible part is that Sauer was initially rejected as a police dog for being too timid. With patience and training, they ended up showing limitless determination. That story sums up the Doberman perfectly. Persevering, loyal, and blessed with an impressive nose. They're not just fast and strong, they're also methodical, focused, and able to track a scent for hours without giving up. And now, before we move on, just know that if you visit happydogsplace.com/gift, you can download a free guide packed with tips to make your dog's life even happier. It's full of fun ideas, helpful strategies, and all the basics every pup needs to thrive. You'll find the link in the description. Number 9. Excellent long-distance runners. Watching a Doberman run is like watching a pro athlete. They can reach speeds of about 31 miles per hour and maintain that pace with surprising endurance. Their body was built for it, with a muscular, aerodynamic, perfectly balanced shape. They're not dogs that enjoy a sedentary life. If you keep them under-exercised, energy builds up and they can become anxious or destructive. Give them room to run and they transform. They savor every stride and seem to fly over the ground. So, if you have a Doberman, it's smart to make exercise part of your routine. Running together, trying agility, or even biking with them can be some of the best ways to keep them happy. This dog was born to move, and when they do, it's pure elegance in motion. Number 10. They feel the cold and bug bites more because of their short coat. The Doberman's coat is short, sleek, and shiny, which gives them that polished look you recognize instantly. But that beauty comes with a trade-off. It doesn't protect them well from cold or insects. Since they don't have an undercoat, their skin is more exposed to low temperatures and bites, especially in damp or windy climates. That's why in winter, it's common to see some Dobermans wearing a coat or thermal blanket. It's not just for show, they genuinely need it. They also appreciate a warm bed or a corner where they can get out of the wind. And even if they look tough and rugged, they're more delicate and sensitive than most people imagine. Taking care of their comfort is a great way to show love and keep them as healthy as they are happy. Number 11. They've been movie stars. With that elegant posture and intense gaze, the Doberman commands respect on camera. No surprise they starred in several films, including the 1972 classic The Doberman Gang, where a team of trained Dobermans takes part in a heist. In the 70s and 80s, their image took off in movies and TV, mostly as guardians, security dogs, or loyal protectors. Their sleek, powerful silhouette turned them into a symbol of authority and sophistication. The best part is that off-camera, they're the opposite of that tough dog stereotype. They're affectionate, playful, and very close to their families. Now that you know more about their history, their achievements, and that sensitive side almost nobody talks about, we're going to go one level deeper. In the next section, you're going to discover which types of Doberman exist today and what each coat color really means. We'll start with the 3 types of Doberman, and then I'll walk you through all the colors they come in. European Doberman. When you see a Doberman with a broad head, strong chest, and a stare that really commands respect, chances are you're looking at a European Doberman. This is a dog bred to work, and you can see that in every single movement. The dog's body is compact, muscular, and well-balanced, with lines that are elegant but still very functional. There's nothing extra on this dog. Everything about this dog is built to perform. They're very tuned into their family with a strong, natural protective instinct. They like having a job to do and feeling useful. When you give this dog a routine that combines physical exercise with mental challenges, they turn into a stable, confident, and surprisingly affectionate companion. Day to day, the European Doberman does best with clear rules and consistency. They don't need a heavy hand, just a calm, steady guide to show them the way. They really enjoy obedience sessions, nose work, and games where they have to think things through. A relaxed walk can help them burn off some energy, but what truly balances them out are activities where they can work and use their brain. When they get the right mix of exercise, play, and mental stimulation, their temperament becomes very predictable and their calm presence is impressive. Visually, the European Doberman usually keeps natural ears and a long tail since cropping and docking are banned in many countries. Their official colors are black and rust and red and rust, a combination that really keeps that classic Doberman look. If you're drawn to the Doberman with an athlete's soul, the one that scans everything with their eyes but relaxes quietly by your side when everything's under control, the European type is for you. They're a serious dog with powerful energy and a tenderness they only show to people who truly earn their respect. American Doberman. When a Doberman looks more aristocratic with a slimmer outline, long neck, and very polished movement, you're usually looking at an American Doberman. This dog combines elegance and drive in equal measure. In the United States, they've been bred for that mix of elegance and a slightly calmer temperament, ideal for family life and for standing out in the show ring. At home, they're very affectionate and expressive with their family. They love to please and respond amazingly well to kind, varied, and consistent training. If you enjoy teaching tricks, practicing obedience, and getting out for moderate exercise, you'll connect with this dog very quickly. When it comes to training, the American Doberman is an excellent student. They learn fast if you keep a positive tone and make the sessions short and varied. They're motivated by attention, treats, and praise, so the more fun training feels to them, the better results you'll see. They're not lazy dogs, but they tend to manage their energy a bit better than the European type. They do need regular exercise, but for most of them, active walks, playtime, and some mental work are usually enough. What really matters is that they get chances to move and think every single day. In terms of appearance, in the United States, it's still common to see them with cropped ears and a short dock tail, although that depends on each owner. Something interesting is that the American standard allows 4 colors: black and rust, red and rust, blue and rust, and fawn or Isabella with rust markings. If you ever see a Doberman in silver gray or beige tones, there's a good chance it's an American Doberman. If you're looking for an elegant, loyal companion that's easy to live with day to day, the American Doberman is a great choice. Warlock Doberman. Sometimes you'll see ads promising a Warlock Doberman, or even versions called King or Goliath. It sounds impressive, right? But don't let that fool you. None of those names describe a real type of Doberman. They're made-up terms that some breeders have been using for decades to sell larger dogs, making them seem special or more valuable. In reality, the Warlock isn't an official bloodline or a recognized variety, but a marketing myth that's stuck around over time. Behind many of those so-called warlocks, you'll often find mixes with larger breeds like Great Danes or Rottweilers, or dogs that are simply outside the proportions set by the breed standard. The problem is that in this breed, bigger doesn't mean better. The Doberman was designed to be an agile, fast, and well-balanced athlete. When size gets exaggerated, that balance is lost. Oversized Dobermans usually have less stamina, less agility, and a higher risk of joint and hip issues. The AKC standard is very clear. A male that stands over 28 inches at the shoulder is disqualified in the show ring. Not because the size isn't impressive, but because it goes against what this dog was built to do. So, why does this myth keep going? Because it looks intimidating. A King Doberman grabs attention and gives off a sense of raw power. But if you're looking for a healthy, well-balanced dog with the noble temperament that defines this breed, what really matters isn't size, it's the quality of the breeding. Good breeders focus on health, temperament and structure, not on extra inches or pounds. Every Doberman color out there. Now that you've seen the different types, it's time to talk about something that really stands out: Doberman colors. Even if they all look the same at first glance, there are several shades with their own quirks and differences. Let's start with the most iconic one, black and rust. You'll also hear people call it black and tan or black and brown. It's the classic movie look, the one everybody associates with the breed. The contrast of those rust markings on the dark coat makes this dog instantly recognizable. On top of that, it's usually the hardiest color and the one with the fewest skin issues. If you're after that traditional, elegant, and functional look, this one's for you. The second most common color is red and rust, also known as brown or chocolate. It has a warm tone that really pops in the sun, and many people say red Dobermans have a slightly more lively or mischievous personality. When it comes to care, these dogs can have slightly more sensitive skin than black Dobermans, but nothing serious. With a good diet and regular brushing, they stay in great shape. Then there's the blue and rust Doberman, a rare and very striking color. It's actually a diluted version of black, which creates steel gray tones or even slightly silvery shades. These dogs are very photogenic and eye-catching, although it's important to know they can develop color dilution alopecia. That can mean hair loss or drier skin, so they need a bit more care. With the right routine, they live a completely normal life. Very similar, but even lighter, is the Isabella and rust color, also called fawn. It's a dilution of red, and the coat can range from beige to a creamy brown. It's the rarest of the four colors recognized by the American standard. Just like blue Dobermans, they can have more delicate skin, so they'll really benefit from sun protection and regular care. Outside the official standard, you'll find white or cream Dobermans. They're not fully albino, but they do have low pigment and light eyes. They look impressive, but they also need more precautions, like avoiding direct sun, using sun protection, and watching for possible skin or eye issues. For that reason, breeding them is generally discouraged. And finally, there are solid melanistic Dobermans, which can be black, red, blue, or Isabella, but without the classic rust markings. On these dogs, the color covers the whole body evenly, which gives them a different and even more mysterious look. At first glance, they really stand out, especially the all-black ones, but none of these colors are officially recognized by the main breed clubs. They usually come from lines where people prioritize wear colors over health or correct structure according to the standard. If you ever come across one, make sure they come from a responsible breeder who uses genetic testing and keeps good diversity in their lines. Remember that what makes a Doberman special isn't the color, it's their balance, their energy, and that intense connection they build with their family. You can already tell a European Doberman from an American one at a glance, and you know all their colors, even the most controversial ones. But there's still one big question. Beyond looks and type, does this dog really fit you, your routine, and your family? That's exactly what we're going to look at now, breaking down each of their key traits. Size. Let's start with something very practical. The Doberman is a large dog, but not a giant one. A male is usually about 26 to 28 inches tall at the shoulder, and a female is around 24 to 26 inches. Most adults weigh roughly 65 to 100 pounds, depending on bloodline and body condition. They're tall, athletic, and lean, but they don't come across as clumsy. But what does this all actually mean in day-to-day life? It means this isn't what people call a purse dog, but it is a dog you can live with comfortably if you have a reasonable amount of space at home. They can live in a small apartment, as long as their lifestyle isn't sedentary. In the car, with a good harness or a proper crate, they travel just fine. They don't take up as much room as a Mastiff or a Great Dane, but they're not the kind of dog that just curls up neatly at the foot of any bed either. For size, the rating for an average family would be 4 out of 5 stars. Grooming and care. When it comes to grooming, the Doberman has a clear advantage over many long-haired breeds. The coat is short, sleek, and very easy to maintain. They don't need endless brushing sessions or constant trips to the groomer. Using a good rubber brush once or twice a week is enough to get rid of loose hair and keep that natural shine. Baths shouldn't be too frequent either. Unless your dog gets really dirty, one bath every 2 or 3 months is usually enough, using a gentle shampoo so their skin doesn't dry out. And here's the first big catch. Because the coat is so short and offers so little protection, a lot of Dobermans are a bit sensitive when it comes to their skin. If you overdo baths, use very hot water, or pick harsh products, you can end up causing itchiness, dandruff, or skin irritation. It's also important to check ears, eyes, and nails regularly, just like you would with any large, active dog. This isn't a difficult breed to groom, but it is a breed that really benefits from good quality products and a bit of extra attention to skin health. For grooming and care, the rating would be 4.5 stars out of 5. Exercise. Here comes one of the key points for deciding if a Doberman fits your life. Exercise. This isn't a dog for a quick walk around the block and then the couch for the rest of the day. This is a canine athlete. They've got energy, stamina, and a very sharp mind. At the very least, they need long daily outings at a good pace and the chance to really run several times a week. Running next to your bike, joining you on your workouts, doing canicross-style runs, competitive obedience, tracking, or agility are all activities that suit this breed incredibly well. If you're only going to offer 2 slow 15-minute walks a day, frustration will show up pretty fast. When a Doberman doesn't burn off physical and mental energy, all that power turns into issues like nervousness, destruction at home, barking, and trouble focusing during training. It's not that this is a bad dog. It's like they're a pressure cooker with no way to let the steam out. If you enjoy an active lifestyle, you'll have an amazing time living with this breed. If you're more on the sedentary side, this probably isn't the ideal breed for you. For exercise needs, the rating for an average family would be 2 out of 5 stars. Temperament. The Doberman's temperament is a really interesting mix of sensitivity and courage. On the one hand, this is a dog that's very tuned into the family, affectionate, dependent, and even a bit of a Velcro dog. They're usually not indifferent to their people. They want to stay close, watch what you do, and be involved. On the other hand, they keep a strong protective instinct and an incredible ability to pick up on changes in their environment. When that combination is managed well, you get a noble, stable, and very loyal dog. If it's handled poorly, the breed can become insecure, anxious, or overly suspicious of strangers. We're not talking about a living teddy bear or a dog that's calm all the time. Many Dobermans are a bit intense, get easily excited, and take a while to settle down if nobody has taught them how. They're also very sensitive to tone of voice and the overall atmosphere at home. They don't handle yelling, harsh punishment, or constantly changing rules very well. They need a family that's consistent, calm, and reasonably firm, one that sets clear boundaries without using violence. Most serious problems in Dobermans come from poor breeding, lack of socialization, or owners who didn't know how to handle such a powerful dog. For temperament, the rating for a responsible average family is 3.5 out of 5 stars. Working ability. If there's one thing the Doberman was designed for, it's work. The breed started out as a guard dog and a companion to a tax collector, and that core purpose is still very present. They have a huge ability to focus when you give them a clear goal, and they can handle demanding training sessions and activities without shutting down. These days, they're used less often in police or military work than they were in the past, but they still shine in protection sports, obedience, tracking, and work with experienced handlers. That combination of speed, agility, and courage makes this breed a very complete canine athlete. For a family, this has 2 sides. On the positive side, this is a dog that loves having tasks and mental challenges. They love learning new things, memorizing routines, and enjoying activities like hiking or playing sports with you. On the negative side, if they don't get any of that, they can get intensely bored and look for their own job, usually in the form of chewing things up or repeating pushy behaviors. For working ability in an active family, the rating is 4.5 out of 5 stars. Trainability. When it comes to trainability, the Doberman is usually near the top. They learn fast, pick up patterns with just a few repetitions, and respond really well to positive reinforcement. Food, play, and especially attention from their person are all big motivators. That makes it much easier to teach basic obedience, tricks, and everyday house manners. However, it's not all that simple. That same intelligence means they spot inconsistencies in a second. If you allow something today and punish it tomorrow, or one person in the house sets rules while another always gives in, the Doberman will quickly learn how to take advantage of that. On top of that, many individuals are a bit stubborn and need their human to stay firm and consistent without slipping into harshness or yelling. You also have to work a lot on focus. As many trainers say, some young Dobermans can be a little easily distracted. They want to see, sniff, and listen to everything at once. Exercises that build focus, self-control, and relaxation are just as important as teaching sit or recall. It's not the easiest breed for a very first dog without support, but with good guidance and a real desire to learn, you can truly enjoy training this breed. The rating for trainability would be around 4 out of 5 stars. Protection. This is where the Doberman really stands out. The breed wasn't created as a hunting or herding dog, but as a personal guardian. Even in more family-oriented lines, many Dobermans still keep a natural watchdog instinct. They're alert to noises, check who's coming near the house, and often place themselves between their family and whatever they find suspicious. That doesn't mean they're bite machines. In fact, a well-raised Doberman shouldn't attack anyone unless there's a real threat and a very clear context. But genetically, it's a breed that can become very territorial and wary if it isn't well socialized from puppyhood. If it's handled badly, that protective instinct turns into a problem. You'll start seeing excessive barking, reactivity toward visitors, and constant tension on walks. The classic image of a Doberman with pointed ears and a very short tail reinforces that aura of a dangerous dog. A lot of people will literally cross the street just from seeing one coming. Interestingly, with natural floppy ears and a long tail, the dog's expression changes a lot, and so does the way people see them. It's the same dog, but image matters, and it matters a lot. If you're looking for a dog that truly alerts you when something's off, and that inspires visual respect without doing a thing, the Doberman more than delivers. If, on the other hand, you live in a place with lots of visitors, close neighbors, and little time to work on socialization, this trait can work against you. The rating for protection will depend on your lifestyle, but it can sit around 4.5 out of 5 stars. Health. In terms of health, the Doberman looks like a strong dog at first glance, but there are several weak points you really shouldn't ignore. Like many large breeds, they can suffer from hip or elbow dysplasia, as well as spine problems if their weight isn't kept in check and exercise isn't handled carefully while they're growing. You also need to watch out for bloat and gastric torsion, which are common risks in deep-chested dogs. On top of that, this breed has hereditary heart diseases, such as dilated cardiomyopathy, plus neurological and spinal disorders that can affect mobility. Not every Doberman develops these issues, but the risk is high enough that choosing a good breeder isn't a luxury, it's a real necessity. All of this doesn't make the Doberman a naturally sickly dog, but it does make this a breed where it doesn't make sense to cut corners on vets, food, or preventive testing. With regular checkups, good genetics, and an active lifestyle, many of them live between 10 and 12 years with a good quality of life. The health rating would be around 3 out of 5 stars. Bite strength. The Doberman's bite strength is impressive, and not just because of what you see in movies. This is a dog with a long jaw, a scissor bite, and powerful muscles in the neck and head. In bite pressure tests, they usually fall into a medium-high range, more than enough to do serious damage if they really meant it, although they're below some of the heavier Mastiff-type breeds. The important thing, though, isn't the exact number of pounds per square inch, it's how that tool is managed. A well-balanced, well-socialized, well-trained Doberman uses the mouth for what it's meant for, playing, carrying toys, and, at most, holding in controlled sport exercises. A poorly raised Doberman, punished too harshly or encouraged to be bad, can become a real risk, just like any large dog with a strong bite. That cropped ear and docked tail look makes a lot of people imagine the dog is just waiting to attack. The reality is that the vast majority will never bite anyone. But precisely because they can bite with that much force, it's essential not to leave their training up to improvisation. The rating would be around 3.5 out of 5 stars. Family suitability. When we talk about family suitability, the Doberman really surprises a lot of people. Because of that tough image, many people think it's a cold, distant dog, or even dangerous around kids. However, in homes where they've been well socialized from puppyhood and given clear rules, they tend to be very affectionate, patient, and protective with their own family. They love physical contact, following the family around the house, and being part of the daily routine. That said, this isn't an all-purpose dog for every kind of family. In homes with very active, small children, their size and energy can backfire. Without constant adult supervision, you can end up with bumps, accidental knocks, or play that's just too rough. They can also be overwhelming for seniors or very sedentary people simply because they need more activity than the household can realistically provide. Another important point is how they handle visitors at home. A well-balanced Doberman can absolutely live peacefully with friends and relatives coming into the house, but that doesn't happen by magic. You have to work on it. If you don't see yourself greeting guests while also managing a big, watchful dog with a lot of presence, this might not be the best choice. In short, as a family dog, they can be wonderful, as long as the family is willing to train them, invest time, and respect their nature as a working dog. For family suitability in a committed home, the rating is 3.5 out of 5 stars. Is the Doberman right for you? After going through all these points, the average rating for the Doberman as a dog for a committed family comes out to about 3.8 out of 5 stars. That sums up what we've seen really well. A fantastic dog in the right environment, but demanding when its needs aren't met. If you're looking for a calm dog that fits into a very relaxed lifestyle with short walks, this isn't the ideal breed. On the other hand, if you picture yourself sharing your day-to-day life with an athletic, sensitive, very loyal dog, the Doberman can be the noble guardian and the faithful friend you're looking for. And that brings us to the end of this complete Doberman guide. If you want to go even deeper into how dogs communicate, I recommend you watch this other video now. In it, I break down 60 of the strangest things dogs do. If you watch it, you'll understand a lot of things your dog does every day that you might never have known how to interpret.